Hey everybody, how's it going? Sirvenomik here for day 57 of the I Quit Smoking Challenge. Now today I'm going to bring you something a little bit different. It's another interview that we conducted this weekend, and it took us a little while to get it all edited together, so that's why we didn't have a video for day 57. But this will be day 57 and 58. And I talked to my boy Jerry about his journey. Just a little 20-minute conversation of what it took for him to quit smoking and his reasonings behind it, and even his mother, I believe, is in there as well. So anyway, guys, give it a listen. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, everything on down below. And well, I hope you enjoy it because I really enjoyed recording it, and Jerry's a really good dude. So I'll leave links in description, everything that we talk about, linked to SuperSubFM and all of his channel in the description below. So guys, go check them out, but after you watch the video. Salutes, boys. Hey everybody, how's it going? Sirvenomik here with my boy. Well, what do you want to call yourself today?
Call me Jerry. Why not? We'll get personal.
All right, Jerry. We've known each other for quite a long time, actually. How long have we actually known each other?
Oh shit, probably
coming up on 3 years, I guess.
I was gonna say too long. No kidding. Yeah, about 3 years. For 2 years.
We've known each other for about the same time, about a long time, and we both started Twitch roughly around the same time, and we both started. Well, you started YouTube and a little bit before me, but for the most part, we've kind of I don't know what you want to call it, entertainment schedule has been about the same. Kind of coincides with each other.
Yeah, I mean, even though we've not really ever competed, but we've always been step for step doing the same things, whether it be Twitch or YouTube. I think that we share a creativity bond, if that makes sense.
Well, I know you've given me several ideas for the channel, several ideas for videos, and I don't know if I've reciprocated enough, but I do appreciate everything you've done for me. Play with your balls a little bit.
No, you've kept me company. I've had your voice in my head, so I don't know if that's a good thing, but
all right. So I wanted to get in touch with you and talk to you and record this wonderful whatever we're going to call this, just episode of the show, and we're talking about vaping. And you guys, over the last 50, 60 days, y'all have seen and heard my story and how it affects my family. I guess one episode with my son, and I'm working on my wife to get in there. But I wanted to bring to you guys something a little bit different. Jerry, you smoked for how long? How long did you smoke for?
Easily 15 years.
Easily. All right. And you got off of cigarettes and went into vaping how long ago?
It's been well over a year, to be honest with you.
About a year. All right. And what made you decide, what was the bottom dollar of why you decided to get off the cigarettes or combustible tobacco for that matter, and get on to a vape?
Well, the older you get, the more conscious you get of different pains and the way that the body is doing things differently. And I was waking up every morning feeling like I'd just run a marathon, and I went to the bathroom, I was coughing and hacking, and really that was a precursor in my mind to emphysema. And that's some jive crap that I don't want to get involved in. So I went to the vape shop, and the person at the vape shop was brilliant and started my journey to become smoke-free.
There you go. Now, have you kept it up? Have you lapsed at all, or gone back to a cigarette every once in a while, or?
The only time I've smoked was social smoking, and I wouldn't even get through a whole cigarette. I've probably had since I started vaping, probably about 10 cigarettes.
Oh wow, that's pretty impressive over a year's amount of time. Now, I know, and I've let everybody know this, that I have had a couple of puffs on cigarettes in the last 60 days or whatever, and it was only like a drag to light up the cigarette for my wife, and it was the absolute most disgusting thing that I've ever done. Now, if I'd have done that within the first week or so of me quitting smoking, then I could see myself just be like, I'll just do this. You know what I mean? But but fortunately enough, I was past the point of desire for it, I guess, when these went down. So I guess it didn't really bother me.
No. And I guess the only time I really want to spark up a cigarette is just habit. You get to that point where there's a loose end in your day, and you feel you should be doing something, and then it's like, maybe, I would usually be having a cigarette. But I've not really given into that. It's like when Ma come over, she's been a smoker for a long, long time. And it was her that I had a cigarette with, and now that doesn't happen anymore.
Outstanding. Now we'll get to your mom here in a second, because I know you got her off of cigarettes into vaping as well.
Yeah.
But before we deep dive into your mother's your subject of your mother here for a second, what are you vaping on right now, and what milligrams are you on, and what mod or whatever are you using to give our listeners and viewers / viewers out there? What are you working on right now?
I am puffing away on a vape Ford mod. It's a 75 watt maximum, and I've got a Kangatech tank, and pretty much 18 milligram menthol is my go-to.
Wow, that's a lot of nicotine right now. Now, are you looking at trying to move forward with your vaping into the sub-ohms? And now when the sub-ohms, you lower your nicotine a little bit, or you're going to get way too much.
So yeah, I mean, I was vaping really weird to begin with. 18 milligrams and having the odd puff here and there instead of taking good drags, and I think now I've got into good drags and trying to get that nice cloud, I can easily start stepping down to lower milligrams.
Right. Now, don't do it like I did. I made a mistake when I went from regular vaping or above ohm vaping or mouth to lung hitters to the sub ohm, to where I could go direct lung. Is that I went from a 12 milligram one day, and then the next day I got my tank, I was at 3 milligrams. So I had a big lapse in weaning, and I think I burnt out 2 coils within the first 2 weeks, which shouldn't usually happen, from what I understand. But but yeah, I definitely want to step down a little bit. You start at 8, drop it to a 12, and then vape on that for a week, and then when you get into the sub ohms, drop it to a 6. That's my recommendation. And about a couple months after that, you can drop to 3 or 1.5, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
that's definitely my recommendation there. And all right, so let's go ahead. We talked about your mother here for a second. Let's go ahead and dive deep into your mama. So she smoked for how long?
Oh,
that can you just take a guess, because I'm sure she was smoking before.
Pretty much my whole life. When she had to put up with somebody like my dad, it's definitely been since she first met him.
I could definitely see that. I know my wife, she's still kind of a smoker, and she's starting to dabble into the vape, but having to put up with somebody like me, I can understand why anybody would want to drink or smoke at the same time.
Yeah.
Got to keep sane. And so give us a story, man. You got her off on the vape. How'd that come about?
I really think my mum was paying attention to how I was, pretty successful on the vape, and she'd come over, and I didn't put pressure on her, but she got sick this Christmas. She got a real bad chest and lung infection, and she got worried. She had to go for the scan, and they was worried that they could be a cancer risk, but she came out clean on that test and on those scans, and really kind of followed my example and went on to vaping, and she's really enjoying it.
Good. Now, you set her up with the basic stuff. Take her down to the shop, order something online. What you?
Yeah, she went to the shop and she got a internal tank. I don't know what the terminology is, but a real simple thing for a beginner. And
like an all-in-one kit, AIO.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think she's on 9 milligrams, something around that region. And
that's not bad. That's
not too bad. Yeah, no. And I'm really, really happy because when she comes over now, we don't have to spark up on the cigarettes, and we can socially vape.
Right. Now, how being a new vapor like her, how do you think that she's going to be able to deal with all the regulations that are just now starting to come and hammer down on the European community?
Well,
now these regulations, were they all just in England or were they across Europe wide?
It's a European legislation and it's not in effect yet, but it's coming. So, that was another motivation. I was like, Mum, if you're going to get into this, do it now. It's the right time. And it's going to be a lot harder to vape here in the UK when that legislation takes place.
Right. Now, a lot of the guys, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly. Just from what we were talking about in the little pre-interview here, what type of legislation? Let all our dudes know what you guys are looking at over there. Some of the bigger things. Yeah.
Well, there's three bigger ones. The tank sizes are going to be limited to 2 milligram. Which that's
2 milliliters of a tank size.
Yeah, and the
wow,
the 2 milliliters, and the thing with that is they've done it in such a way that you hardly get anything that's under 3 milliliters. So automatically they've delivered a gut punch to the vaping nation, if you want to call it that. Vape Nation. Yeah. Yeah, the liquid, you're only going to be able to buy it in 10 milligram bottles. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to limit it to you can only buy 10 at a time. You can't buy more than that. I'm not sure. If they do that, it's going to be absolutely stupid because then they're hammering down on vaping more than they are actual smoking.
Well, I know that's what it seems like here in the States with some of the regulations. Now, let's take this opportunity there, Jerry, and have us a vape here.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. What I'm vaping on is the Smoke Alien 220 with the Baby Beast tank with the Q2 coil at 0.4 ohms. And
that's a sexy setup there.
It's a pretty nice setup. So getting back, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, the major issue with the legislation, there's one that could break vaping. And I'm not sure how they're going to do it because they are going to make it so that you can only use mods that give you a consistent nicotine amount. Now, there are no mods really out there at the moment that limits it that way. So
the only thing I can think of is maybe a temperature control mod.
Yeah,
probably. It can only be temperature control.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty worrying too, but we'll see. I mean, the UK are backing out of Europe, but, coming to think of it, really, at the end of the day, a lot of this legislation has probably been heavily influenced by one of the, or a bunch of the tobacco lobbyists who have their hands in the pockets of politicians. Yeah. And, I'm not a tinfoil helmet kind of guy, but I'm very, very, very conscious of how lobbyists can affect this kind of stuff.
Well, we sound a lot They basically, what they did over here was they took the page where cigarette is and they just wrote in vape underneath it. And I think
Yeah.
and I've said it before here on the channel, and I've said it before on the stream, but the biggest mistake the vaping industry ever did was initially when it was started, they called it an e-cigarette.
Yeah.
And when people started calling it e-cigarette, they automatically associate it with smoking. And with some of the earlier mods, the little cigalikes that look like a cigarette, and you puff on it and the light comes up on the end. A lot of those did help people get off of vaping, or get off of actual combustible tobacco. And here's something that I found by talking through to a lot of different people. 9 times out of 10, the vapor comes into the vape shop. He gets the the all-in-one kit or whatever, and they smoke on it they vape on it for about 6 months, and then they quit. They quit vaping. They quit everything altogether.
Yep.
Now, me personally, I want to blow a big old cloud chunk, and I want to dump out some clouds as much as I can, and eventually get off of the nicotine altogether. That's my goal. But I want to continue to vape.
Right.
Because I love the flavor. It still gives me that habit, and I'm not having to get the nicotine fit anymore. And I don't know about you. What's your goal overall?
I think eventually I'm going to do it in steps where I go down and down and down in nicotine. Obviously, the human body, if you give yourself a dose of anything consistently, it's a health risk in some way. But I'm going to get... I want to get off of it, not because I dislike vaping, but, economically it'll be good, and, I can then say I have finally cut nicotine out of my life,
Right. Now, you going to cut the nicotine out and continue to vape, or see how it goes when you get to that point?
I'll see how it goes when it gets to that point, really. I'm quite casual in my attitude towards vaping. I think it's a good thing. Obviously, if I could be in a position where I didn't have that and I didn't smoke, that would probably be better.
So, Jerry, I know you're a busy man, and I want to thank you for coming on the show here today.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Hey, anytime you need some help with anything, you know where I'm going to be. But
yeah.
I want to ask you one more question before we get out of here, and before I let you go. What would you say? Well, actually, it's kind of a 2-part question. The first part, what would you say to the people that are still smoking cigarettes about the vaping world?
Well, realistically, if somebody's smoking, give it a try and try and stick with it, because if nothing else, it will save you an absolute packet in what cigarettes would cost. And, give it a try. If nothing else, it will help you cut down on the amount you smoke, and that's almost guaranteed.
All right, so Jerry, the second part to the question is, what would you say to the people that have never smoked and have never vaped, but they continue to give vaping a bad name by saying all of this hoity-toity, I'm better than you, I don't vape, vaping is bad for you? What would you say to these guys?
Well, I mean, it's easy to take the moral high ground when you're not doing it. And like you said, if people aren't really aware of what it takes to overcome an addiction, then, why really take that attitude? I mean, vaping, people might be worried about passive vaping and they don't want to have that, shit going in their lungs. But at the end of the day, it's vapor. When you cook something, you're going to be inhaling vapor. And, these people just need to relax a bit and acknowledge that this is, really hammering down on people using combustible tobacco.
Jerry, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. Tell them where they can find you and all of your stuff here on YouTube.
Yes, it's SuperSubFM. If you're into sports and simulation, you can catch me there. I don't stream, at least not at the moment. And if you want to get in touch with me, my Twitter handle is SuperSubFM.
Check him out, man. He's got some pretty good stuff. The game of football. No, it's English football for you American people out there. He puts the game of English football in a very interesting light, and I highly recommend you guys hanging it all over there to his channel, SuperSubFM, over here on YouTube, and checking it out, man. It's great. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other stuff. Well, I am sirvenomik. Thank you guys very much for watching. You guys can hit me up at sir_venom_ik over there on the Twitters, and you guys can also come over to Twitch and hang out with me 7:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's twitch.tv/sirvenomik, and it'll pop up on your screen.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime over there. So anyway, guys, I love you. You got anything else you want to tell them before we get out of here?
Not really. Oh, one thing, if you're watching this and you don't smoke, but you find vaping attractive, don't do it. It's not that I'm saying vaping is bad, but why start an addiction when you're clear of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. If you haven't smoked and you want to get vaping, don't do it. You don't want to. It's a waste of your time.
It is, yeah. But
all right, buddies,
I love you all.
We'll see. Oh, we love you too, buddy. All right, see y'all next time, yeah? Salutes.
Bye-bye. I love everybody.
Hey, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Daddy needs that YouTube money.